Oh, hello. I am the Gaming Ninja, and in today's review, I'm going to review The Amazing Spider-Man for 3DS. Now, usually when a game's created, if they have a bunch of versions of it, like a version for PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, like practically it's for every system. Usually when that happens, the one for the 3DS is the crappiest one. It's almost always the case. And this is not an exception. Okay, first off, the graphics. The graphics are pretty good at first until you notice the glitches. The fact that there are too many people that look alike in this game. Okay, it's really jacked up when I play one level. I see a guard working at a mental institution, and then I play another level, another mission, and a guard I'm rescuing looks exactly like the same dude from the other mission. And this goes on throughout the game. There are like too many enemies, too many people that look alike. They could have been more creative with designs of these characters, designs of the guards, designs of the enemies, the Oscorp guards, designs of the people that work at the Beloit Hospital. They could have done a better job with that, I feel. Another thing that really annoys me is that sometimes I fall through the floor. Depending on how I land, sometimes I end up falling through the floor and dying. This is very annoying. I shouldn't be on the wall, get off the wall, and all of a sudden I fall through the floor. Or I fall through the floor while I'm fighting the Spider Slayer. It's very repetitive and ridiculous. It's stupid. Like 2012, games should not come out with glitches like that. These people at Activision and Beenox should have been on point. I mean, you got people testing the game. I mean, come on. How come you let this come out with that many glitches in it? Somebody's been too lazy, obviously. Another thing is, I'm trying to remember a certain glitch. Yes, the enemies. There's a glitch that goes on with the enemies sometimes, and I would like to call it the Shadow Cat glitch. Why I call it the Shadow Cat glitch? I'll tell you why. It's because sometimes they end up going through walls, and it's annoying. It can happen when you hit them hard enough to send them flying. It can happen when you use your signature move on them. And when they start doing that, worst case scenario, you can't hit them. In such a worst case scenario, Your only hope is either you web them or you run like hell. Ugh. Sorry, Bepping no Jitsu. Yes. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, the only way to get out of it is one of those two things, and it's annoying. And then other glitches, like your web, when you use your stealth attacks on an enemy, when you web an enemy, your web tends to go through walls, buildings, people. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Really, Activision? Really? You let it come out. You couldn't just delay the game to fix the glitches? Really? I find it very disappointing. And and then there's so many other things. That's why I'm thinking I'm going to get with it. But first I talked about the music a bit. The music's good. It gets me into the story. It doesn't get old or repetitive. The only problem is that some of the music that was in the all the other versions was left out and cut off when it came to this version. Which is just ridiculous. Sounds good. Nothing wrong with the sound. Nothing to complain about. Sound is sound. Controls, they feel natural. Maybe it's just me because I own the 3DS for a while. What is that? Speaking of sound, what the heck was that? Okay, I think there's a spider bot in here somewhere from Slayer or something. Anyway, I'll get to the story now. The story is the city's been under some infestation. With Web of Shadows, it was a whole symbiote infection, and it really was an invasion. They did something a little similar here, but instead of that, it's like a whole cross-species virus. And it's after the events of this Amazing Spider-Man movie. So especially if you watch the movie, it'll be like, oh yeah, all that makes sense. So anyway, your Peter Parker, you and Gwen sneak into Oscorp. You get caught by Dr. Alistair Smythe. You guys begin chatting or whatever. Then Gwen has to help escort one of the cross species to some transporting facility to be transported to this place where they'll be disposed of. And during that process, the thing wakes up. I don't know why the hell it woke up or whatever. And then after that, it goes berserk. It escapes. All the other cross species escape, and then they start biting people left and right, and they start getting infected with this virus that turns them into cross species. And things get crazy from there. The story is pretty epic. You have to break out. There's a part where you have to break out Dr. Connors. There's a part where you have to track down Vermin so you can get his blood and all sorts of things. And as for like gameplay controls are pretty good. The only thing that annoys me, what is going on here? This thing, I'm about to turn Super Saiyan. This thing don't stop. Seriously. Okay. The only thing with the controls is like, instead of a button where you would dodge attacks, the buttons on the touch screen. So you have to touch it in order to dodge your opponent's attacks. And there's another one on the touchscreen also for web retrieving, which really helps in cases of you're about to die or turret machine gun shooting at you. Those cases, it really, that web retrieve really helps. The gameplay is pretty fine. I like especially the fighting sequences, and the combat is very free flow. And they took in some stuff from the Arkham series. That whole counter thing. You counter your opponent's attacks. I really like how they did that. I think they should have done a better job though. Okay, if like in Batman's case, he has mad gadgets and whatnot for days throughout the Arkham series. And there's a lot of things, but he never got bored playing the games. And there was also a mode where you could just fight a bunch of people. Just fight hordes of people at a time. And I really like that. I enjoyed the Arkham series since the first game. It is amazing stuff. Rocksteady, good job. And Activision, if you're gonna do something, do it right. I mean, you could have added a lot more variety in attacks and special moves. I mean, we're talking about the wall crawler here. I mean, come on, you guys did Spider-Man Web of Shadows, which was pretty good. Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time and stuff. And you need to tell me you guys couldn't come up with something for this. And besides, there was only one kind of special attack. There were more varieties of the signature move, but those varieties are not in the 3DS version. There's only one kind only. And there are some special moves here and there. But it can get pretty repetitive at times and boring. And then, not to mention, there's no free roaming. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. There's no free roaming. Oh yeah, they must have forgotten to add free roaming in this game. Because instead of free roaming through the city and doing the missions and whatever, you do it all from your house, which is stupid and repetitive. It is ridiculous and idiotic. Like really, I'm just gonna press some area on the map and then I'm magically there instead of one swinging there. Because I'm playing as Spider-Man. I mean, good grief, this is idiotic. Yeah, all the side missions and stuff you do from the house. Stan's house. And the only part where you go outside, which is the Spider Slayer boss fights, is pretty repetitive. It's like, how do I explain this? It's just like, it's a stage. Think of the Marvel Nemesis games. The Marvel Nemesis game. Or something like that. It's like a 3D environment, and you can only web swing to a certain point. And that's it. You can't go beyond that point. The 3DS version is a lot more fun. I mean, not a lot more fun, but I meant to say the console versions are a lot more fun. A lot better, a lot more stages. It has a lot more side missions. Like, there are side missions where you have to track down robbers, car chases, and stuff like that. And that sort of stuff is not in this version. And they do have something like it called Vigilante mode, but let's face it, Vigilante mode sucks. Okay, all it is you go through each neighborhood and you eradicate all the crime. It has like a weird RPG element to it, and it'll tick you off. It's not even like an interesting turn-based sort of RPG. Here's how it works. You click on the crime you want to stop. And then there's Spider-Man on this side, a picture of him, and a picture of the bad guy he's trying to fight. And there's this meter. Now imagine that meter like a sort of Dragon Ball Z thing, the burst limit games. But instead of you mashing it, the meter goes depending on Spider-Man's level. Now depending on his level, he will win against that bad guy, or lose against that robber, or criminal, or whatever. And you don't have any control over it. You don't get to pick a move or nothing. Once it starts like, and if you lose, you lose. You win, you win. It is a bunch of crap. And then once you complete Vigilante mode, that's when you unlock the black costume. And the black suit is not worth a damn. Which leads me to extras. Excuse me. Push it. Now the extras, they have stuff like the Oscorp recordings, where you get to hear the conversations of Oscorp employees about whatever, and you collect these little Oscorp things throughout the missions. Then after that, there's the whole, you unlock character bios, you unlock concept art, and I found those to be pretty good. In fact, the concept art is way better than the graphics in this whole game. The only part of the graphics that's good, pretty much the only part of the graphics that's good, they directly copied and pasted from the console versions. Like really? You couldn't copy and paste the rest of the graphics for like everything? I mean, managed to do this, so that shows that the 3DS is capable of handling it. So yeah, what's going on. I sense a tinge of laziness, a tinge of cultural laziness, just pig-like laziness all over. And then you have your original costume and you unlock only 2 costumes. Both of them are from the Sam Raimi movie. One of them I already told you, the black suit. It's not worth it. You can't even see the details on the suit. Like the webs, the Spider-Man symbol, you can't even see that. Heck, I can barely see the eyes in the mask because these idiots made it so dark that you can barely notice details, and it looks like a stick figure. In fact, I think I might show it to you now. Let's see. Extras. Alternate suits. Normal. And here we go. Let me click on it first. This dude up close. And let you guys have a look-see so you can get some sort of visual on what this costume looks like. Let me try and turn it over. Okay? And that's the gist of the suit. Overall, it's a pretty good game, but it could have been better. I mean, all these glitches, all this other stuff, it's ridiculous. And plus, when you fight the lizard, he does martial arts. Yes, he does some weird martial arts, and he has a move that's a one-hit kill. Like, good grief. Like, hey, this is not Marvel vs. Capcom. This is not a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat game. Cut that out, Blizzard. Cut that out. And stop the capoeira madness. Good grief. So, if I had to give it anything, 2 stars out of 7. That's it. 2 out of 7. And it's lucky it got that. I mean, I like some aspects of it. That the graphics, they try to make it similar to the graphics to how they did the console versions. Because usually they'd be lazy and make some lousy 2D gameplay platformer that's just horrendous crap. I mean, I enjoy this game better than Spider-Man 2 for the Game Boy Advance, but overall, they could have done a better job. A way better job. Activision and Beenox, this is disgraceful. And you guys need to do better. If you don't want to make Spider-Man games, don't make them. Let another company take the helm and do a better job. I wonder. Yeah, Rocksteady should do it. If that's the case, Rocksteady should do a Spider-Man game. and teach these boys how it's done. And there's other aspects too. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man outfit. It looks kind of pale in this game. I mean, there's some parts where it really looks nice, but in the usual sense, most of the time, it looks pale. Like someone put some bleach on it when it went in the laundromat. So, that's it. That's all I gotta say about this game. This thing turned out to be a real disappointment, and these guys should have done better. I mean, all the stuff you cut off, it makes for a lousy game, and and to people out there listening, this is not worth your money. If you're gonna get Amazing Spider-Man, get it for a console version, like PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, or Wii versions. I don't know if this were Wii or Wii U, one of them. But definitely do not, under any circumstances, get this version. You'll be disappointed. Like I was disappointed. And this I got for what, $30? And this game's not even worth half of $30. It's not even worth $10. I bought better games for $10. Maybe if it was $3, I'd be like, okay, it was worth the money. But nah. And Activision, you need to stop being lazy with the graphics. Seriously. I mean, come on, this is 2012. I should not be getting this many stupid glitches in a game. And the graphics should have looked a lot better. I mean, if Game Freak can make a Pokemon game in 3D with good graphics like that, like how they did it, you have no excuse to back up, to go behind. You have no excuse to go behind. Period. Overall, this was a very disappointing game. Just a downer. And good grief. I've seen, and the sad thing is, there are games for the phone, games for iTouch, iPad, or whatever, that are way better than this. How is it that people that make phones, games for phones, can do a better job at making a game for the phone than people that make games that have been making games for years? Really? This is pitiful. And this is utter crap. I'm just disappointed right now. Good grief. Oh yeah. And worst part is, they did a worse job on Amazing Spider-Man 2 game for 3DS. That one's especially atrocious. Thank God I didn't get that. So, I'm the Gaming Ninja here, and this has been a review, which took over 30 minutes. Great. Well, I'm tired. And this mask is getting sweaty. Especially sweaty. I wonder if I have gray hair in my armpits yet. I'll find out later. Oh, I'm Gaming Ninja. And this has been a review on KE1X. And to my one subscriber, sorry it took so long to make another video. I've just been busy with school and stuff. So, konnichiwa, trekkers, and good night.
Yeah.